Hey guys, welcome to Hills and Gills, and today we're tying up another little jig. This is a smallmouth killer right here in the rivers, especially when it starts warming up for the summer months and those bigger smallmouth starts moving into the pockets. It's also a great lake jig too, as well, like with light line, like an 8 pound test. And that's usually what we throw this on is like floral 8 pound with an 8 pound test braid, and it's nothing more than a little rotted pumpkin for smallmouth. And got some bucktail in it, got that orange head up at the top, and got a little brown hackle. If you got black hackle, that'll work as well too. So guys, let's tie up the little rotted pumpkin. Okay, let's get this little 1/8 ounce jig tied. We're using a black A by Do It. It's Do It. A is my go-to thread when tying up smallmouth, crappie, brim type jigs. I really like it, and it's not that expensive. And we're going to go right down to the bend of the hook right here, and then we're going to work our way right back up shank about a quarter of the way on this tie. The thing that we're going to be adding is some hackle feather tips. Now if you don't have brown like what I'm using here, like a dark brown, you can go with a black. I don't like going with the orange on this. I don't like a lot of orange on this little rotted pumpkin tie. I like keeping it, kind of a balanced color when tying one of these little jigs up here, and the smallmouth absolutely loves them. And I'm going to lay this right on top of the shank, and then I'm going to give him a couple of real nice tight wraps right here, locking that stem in. And these are about 1.5 inches. I want them to stick back about 1 inch from the bend of the hook. And then I'm going to wrap right around behind it about 3 times to make him flare and stick out over to the side. Tighten that up a little. Go around one more time on him, and then give him a couple more nice tight wraps. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I got one here about 1.5 inches. We're going to lay him right up on top. It doesn't have to be perfectly in line with the other one. These are fishing jigs that I tie. I don't tie them for the wow factor, the prettiness of them and stuff. I tie these to catch fish on, and the fish is not going to measure out if one feather is a little bit shorter than the other one. And then I'm going to go right behind that feather on the back side and repeat the process that I done on the other one. And then I'm going to go right up the shank and locking all of that hackle stem in with real nice tight wraps. This is a smallmouth jig, and you want it to be built tough. So I'm going to take just a little bit of UV resin, and I'm going to run right up that thread. I'm just going to rub my finger across it just a little bit, soaking it in. And then I'm going to take my UV light, and I'm going to hit it and get all that hardened in there. Now the next thing we're going to be using orange. This is orange bucktail right here, but on the back side I love using this blackish orange hair that barely gets dyed up, the brown on a bucktail. This ties some real pretty jigs, and I'm just going to come right down toward the bottom, and I'm just going to pinch me off a pinch to put right up behind that jig head. I got a nice pinch of it here, about like a pencil eraser, and it's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches long. And I'm just going to squeeze him up here, remove some of that loose hair, and then I'm going to bump it right up against that jig head and push down, bringing it across that shank. Then I'm just going to go around him with my thread and give him some super tight wraps. Without breaking the thread off. I'm just going to tighten it down, flaring that bucktail up some, and just flaring that bucktail up. Give him another tight wrap. Smallmouth absolutely loves this. One more nice tight one, and I'm looking at it as I'm doing it. I don't want it spiked out a lot, but I do want it flared out quite a bit. So I'll just keep squeezing him up there, giving him some tight wraps. That looks pretty good right there. Now right up here where this hair is sticking out toward the back of the jig head, I'm going to leave that. I like a little character. It gives it a little buggy look. So all we need to do now is give it some nice tight wraps, building that collar up. There we go. Now we're ready to whip finish it. Now when I whip finish one of these, I do 5 and 5 on like smallmouth jigs, and bigger on my crappie jigs. I do like 5 and pretty much done with it. So I'll just seat that down, and then I'll do 5 more. Last but not least, we're going to do a little UV resin. And we're just going to go around that collar. It gives it a nice shiny look. Plus, it's going to lock that collar in to stay. Well, guys, there you go. The little Rotten Pumpkin, orange and dark brownish black with some brown hackle feather. This is a killer for smallmouth, like during summer when they move in them deep pockets in the river. It'll also be great in the lake. If you like throwing that like on light line, like an 8-pound test, it'll be great there as well. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you liked it, I hope you give us a thumbs up. Hope you subscribe to our channel. Check the playlist out down below on more of our jig ties. Follow us over on Instagram and TikTok, and also Facebook. Until next time, stay safe out there on the water, and we'll see you right here in the next one.